Good afternoon. I am here with another legacy leader who happens to be one of my friends from Howard University. No surprise, I'm sure, because I have been featuring a lot of phenomenal legacy leaders out of Howard University. I'm here with the Miss Danielle Worth. We just had a great time in Howard HU.
HU.
Yeah, you know. So we are excited to be together and just talk to you using the restorative approach. I'm going to ask her the same series of questions, kind of hear what's going on, where she is. I'm going to have her introduce herself and tell us where she is, what she does, anything special. I know you're involved in a nonprofit. I definitely want to hear about that.
Yes.
And anything else you want to share as an introduction. So thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. And I'm so happy to, be here. And as you're doing, great things with Jeneen C.A.R.E.S. and, we're a part of doing great things. So I do have a nonprofit organization. It's called Uprising Stars. I started it back in 2011. And we give out scholarships to high school students that want to go to college. And so that's the premise of our organization. We do some kind of like mentoring a little bit with parents and, students who can't get the financial FAFSA and stuff like that. But the premise is we send kids to school and we try to help them out financially. And so we have a process where, we get students to send an application in and we review it, and then we have this big fancy gala and we kind of like celebrate them, whatever school they're going to. And so it's been a really big, really good experience to actually celebrate some of the youth, because some of them have never been celebrated. And the fact that they're going to college, so it's a big deal. So, we've done good. We've given out over 15,000 in scholarships.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so $15,000 in scholarship. We've helped over about maybe 10, I think about 14 kids that we've actually assisted, and some of them went to Howard, Rutgers, Winston-Salem, Morgan State. Right. So those, we don't actually limit them because our organization is based in New Jersey, and we don't limit them and say, oh, you have to go to a four-year institution that's just in the New Jersey metropolitan area. And so it's been a baby of mine. We want to be able to promote it and be able to kind of get, more people aware about. So we do fundraisings. A lot of people ask us, well, how do you raise funds for the nonprofit? So, we do fundraisers, whether it's bowling events. We reach out to, individuals, small business owners, Fortune 500 companies. We do have a 501c3, so it is a tax write-off. So, we do go about that, and we've been pretty, we do pretty good. We actually have had a couple news clips, with Here and Now on ABC or News 12. Those are news channels here in New Jersey, to where, people are able to see what we're doing and, be able to see our organization and who we've helped. And so it kind of just brings more awareness of it. So that's one of the things that I'm proud of that we're doing, with the organization, and it's growing and we're able to assist more people. And so I'm just really happy that, the organization consists of my mom, my sister, and myself. And so, we're the core founders. We basically have different perspectives and that we bring to the organization. And so we're able to, use our collaborative efforts, so everyone can understand. My sister was in the Army. She went to Virginia State. She has a little more different perspective from my mom is a parent. So she can talk to some parents who's a single mom who sent their kids to college or sent them away, and what the financial burden was and what she did. So we have different perspectives that people can get, people can relate to.
That's always important, to have different people at the table to help the conversations, the ideas to get generated. So what motivated you to start that nonprofit?
I was actually in grad school, and I'd always had given back, because, I came from a community where people always helped me, and during different times growing up in my life. And so, I was just told, make sure you reach back and help somebody else. Absolutely. And so at the time I was doing Big Brother, Big Sister here in New Jersey. And I was with a young girl, and I was doing different activities, and I didn't feel like I was getting to her. I kind of felt like, she was always on her phone, and I didn't feel like there was a strong connection. And so the last day of they had like a volunteer appreciation day. She came and I was like, okay, I had told her I wasn't going to be a mentor. No, I was going to go to grad school. And, and I asked her, I said, well, how did you feel about about our, about us, mentoring? She was like, oh, I loved it. I had a great time. She was like, I actually want to be a big sister. I'm over here like, what? It was so funny because I thought that she
distracted.
like, and so it just I talked to one of the counselors and he was like, you can never know. He was like, you
kind of impact.
What the impact is. And so I wanted to be able to create something like that, and I was like, wow. And so while I was in grad school, I didn't really think that I would be able to start my own business. But as I was learning about different businesses, I'm like, hey, if I can start something from something that I really love, that I'm really passionate about, and it was helping people, that I thought that, it would really be successful. And then I just kind of like started thinking about things that I wanted to do, what would make me, what kind of things that how I wanted to help people. And then I just came up with, what, I want to help students go to college. And then it just kind of came from there.
So experiences, background, passions, desire to give back to others. Awesome. Yeah. Life lessons. Yeah. Tell us about your journey from home to college to a graduate level program and to where you are now.
So I'm originally from New Jersey. So I went to Howard and undergraduate degree, majoring in communications. And I did that for a while. I worked in a couple TV shows, People's Court TV show. And I kind of felt like that was something that I liked, but, I wasn't so much passionate about it. I kind of was like, okay, I had an interest in acting. So I started doing that. And so I was, doing different auditions here in New York, because I'm so I'm living in New Jersey, but I'm really like 20 minutes from New York. Right. So I would go to different auditions and, get headshots and go to, go to different schoolings. And so I kind of became excited with that. But with being an actor or trying to be an actor, or aspiring actor, it's a long journey. You just got to keep at it. Sometime I would get a gig, sometime I wouldn't get a gig. And then I just kept at it and kept at it. Sometimes I would get a job if I went a long period of time where I didn't get anything. And so I started kind of like temping, doing some things, and then I would go back to the acting. And then it kind of became like, okay, well, you don't want to necessarily live a life like that where you don't feel like you're able to have anything tangible. So I bought a house. Now I got to go to work. I was like, oh man, I really got to go to work. So once I started doing that, I was like, I'm making grown-up decisions over here, so which was cool because it taught me responsibility to be able to, not just be worried about me just becoming an actor, but what else was there more to Danielle. And so I started doing that. I wanted to get in my SAG card in the acting, so that way now the money that I was getting was wasn't just like something small. I could actually be able to live depending on where I was working and what I was doing. So I was doing shows, doing stuff like that, which I'm still doing, which is very fun, and I really love that. And I mean, that's kind of what my journey was for a long while. And then I decided I wanted to go, as I was volunteering, I decided I want to go back to school. And I was like, well, you know what, I want to go back to school. I kind of felt like maybe, I wanted to do something different, in addition to my career, because I was just kind of just working, I was working in sales a little bit with customer service. I was kind of just doing that. It was paying the bills. It wasn't something I really loved to do, but I knew that I needed something to support the acting. So I kind of was just doing that. And I went to graduate school, and it was like, oh, I could start a nonprofit. And the whole birth came of the nonprofit. And I'm happy that now I'm actually trying to get into this. I'm working on getting into real estate. I kind of really want to be able to do the acting and do the entrepreneurship world and, stay in it. But you got to be able to be sustainable. You got to be able to take care of your home. You got to be able to take care of your finances. You got to be able to do those things. And I think sometimes as I meet younger people, that's like, oh my goodness, they can look at a piece of what you're doing and say, oh, this is great. But it is a journey. It's a journey, how you get there, how you stay there, how you maintain. And so, and I rent out my home now. So now I got a little residual income. And I'm like, oh, okay, but it is, being a landlord is not always fun and games. It's like, oh my God, did they pay the rent?
Everything is a journey, right?
Yes, it's pros and cons. And so I'm grateful for the journey. I'm grateful for what I've learned because now I can share that with others. And so that process, I just love it. And so now with this juncture, we're in the pandemic, so we can't really go out as much. I've been blessed to have an essential job at the moment. So I'm going out every day. And and it can be scary, because, we haven't had this kind of situation before. And there's so many people in New Jersey, and we're the second largest state that has so many cases. And so it's just kind of put things in perspective. In life, you really want to do what makes you happy. You really want to treat people right, and and have some kind of passion about something. Life is not promised. You don't know when tomorrow will end for any of us, and so you just want to make sure that you give this life your best.
Thank you for sharing that. I just muted myself, so I was sorry I was muted. Where did you do your graduate work?
So I went to a school in New Jersey called Keene University.
Okay.
And so I went there for 2.5 years, and what actually really sparked, I guess, in the graduate program, you had to go out the country to learn about different another. So we had to go to Brazil.
Wow.
And so we went to Brazil for 10 days, and we learned about the Brazilian culture, and and what happened and what they do. And it was interesting to find out that Brazil didn't have a hard, like in 2008 when we had the housing recession, Brazil didn't have such a bad battle with it. Like they weren't in America, they promote that, the American dream, they promote you to have that. And sometimes people were going into debt to have that. But it was interesting to see how other countries do things. They don't promote credit and debt like we do over here. Go get a credit card, like they was like, no, lay it away,
Right.
You don't have it, you don't get it. You're like, oh,
Straight out of college or while in college, please get a credit card. No.
Yes, you haven't even graduated yet. So I think that was interesting to see that a lot of people over there were so different. Like the language was different, what they ate was different, the money, we had to exchange our money. So it was like an out of body experience almost, because everything that I had lived my whole adult life was different.
Right.
And so, and it was like, it's interesting just to see a different perspective. Like everything is not like America. Like you think that, but
until you're in our own little boxes.
Yeah.
Traveling. I do have a lot of friends that travel, and I'm always impressed. I have reservations because I'm always thinking about the shots you have to do in different places and all those extra things that you have to do and the safety precautions, and then all the things that have happened in the world since in the last 20 years with 9/11 and all kinds of things. It terrifies you to travel sometimes, but I think exploring the world is something that we have to do more of. So let's get into some of our restorative questions. And restorative practices teaches us, again, to build community, connect with others, build relationships, and more important, to repair and restore or manage conflict when that occurs. And we're always going through conflict as women, as children, as adults. And so the key is, in any organization, any school, or any family, how you resolve those relationships. And the theories basically suggest that the more of a connection and a relationship that you have with people, the easier it is to resolve them when they occur. And so schools and organizations who spend time building community fare a lot better than those who don't do things with. And when we say building community with, we're talking about doing things with the students, doing things with the teachers or your colleagues. In a family, it would be the same thing, doing things with your children, whether that looks like playing with them, walking with them, teaching them. And so that's what restorative practices is all about. If I could take a moment to talk about the social discipline window and restorative practices, because you are a career woman, and thinking about careers, you probably have had different supervisors or bosses that you have worked for.
Mm-hmm.
There's 4 boxes in the restorative practices window. One would be kind of a punitive style for a boss who would be like very much in control but doesn't offer you any support.
Right.
Right? You probably had one of those. Then
Right.
you have one that might be no control and no support. We call those
Right.
neglectful. Then we
Right.
have people that may be very supportive but not really in control at all, and we call those
Mm-hmm.
like permissive. And then we
Okay.
have restorative leaders, or what I call legacy leaders, that are really about being with others. And so you're mentoring, you're a nonprofit, you're working with students to show them the way. And that's what it is. It's high control or high expectations combined with the support. And so you, by providing those scholarships, are supporting them to be able to say, yes, I can go to college. So thank
Right.
you for that work that you're doing restorative, and thank you for being a legacy leader. So you mentioned you're in New Jersey, not far from New York. What have you been thinking as the crisis continues to unfold?
I mean, well, it's scary when you look at the news and you see the numbers growing, and they're so much bigger in New Jersey and New York than the rest of the world. And so, I mean, I had stopped going to New York. That's where I was working at the time. And so I just stayed home. And, it's scary to think. I mean, I understand that the population, is so dense up here and everyone's so close together. And so it's easier, in an area to, infect more people than it is an area that's kind of rural. So I did understand that. And as it started to grow, I mean, you take precautions when I did have to go out to go to the grocery store or anything like that. I made sure that, I followed the guidelines, that were given, by the officials, made sure that, I wasn't putting anybody at risk, and I didn't want anyone to do the same, do anything for me. And I was just listening, I mean, it was fair, for you hope and pray that, it's something that can be contained, but it looks like, we won't have a vaccination until to the springtime. And so, while it is scary, I think that if you adhere to what is being said, then it won't affect you personally. And I mean, I've heard so many stories of people doing different things to where they've been affected, or they had a party, or they went somewhere, they didn't follow the rules, and then now their loved one is now in a position where they actually got the virus. And I think that that's just a telltale sign of, just listen to what the officials are saying, when you can go out, when you can do. I mean, we have to all improvise with our hair and nails and car washes and all other things that, we're so used to having. All the other perks. I mean, I get it. I feel it too. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do about this? I'm used to doing this, so I can't do this.
Right.
But, it's adapting and just kind of like really just dealing with it,
Absolutely. We have to manage. One of my favorite quotes during this time so far is not about the situation, it's about the decisions. And if we want to survive, we have to make some pretty good decisions, right?
Absolutely.
I haven't had my nails done in a minute, and they look, I can't even show them, right? Like, whoop. Real quick. So, what has been the hardest thing for you?
During the coronavirus?
Yes, during this time, what has been the hardest thing?
I guess really when it comes down to two things. I'm not able to do any acting now, and so I like doing that, and so that's unfortunate, because that was a way to take care of myself at this time. And other than that, I would say we've had to make different changes and challenges with the nonprofit. So we have a gala every year, and we've actually had to cancel that gala because it's like over 100 people. And we've also had different fundraisers that we had to cancel because those were like based on a lot of people. And so that's been the hardest thing, because we started it because we wanted to help, but we know safety comes first. So we know that, things have to be different. We have to cancel the things. So that's been the hardest thing, to be like, oh man, we got to, like the love of it is like, oh man, I got to cancel this, I got to cancel that. But, we want to stay safe, and we want to, adhere to the rules. So.
Right. Yes, I can understand. I can relate. My daughter is a senior, and so prom
Oh,
graduation is, and the message just came out from our county today that we will have a virtual graduation. So that's better than having nothing at all. And then we
right.
also have individual school celebrations. So I was like, well,
Okay.
invite everybody to that. That'll be fun. And she's like,
Yeah, how's she doing? How's she dealing with it, everything?
she has finally been invited to a group with some of the seniors, and they're like plotting on things that they can do for ending their senior year. And I'm like, all right, now I know that y'all won't lose graduation, but you might get in trouble. So just be nice,
Right.
class of 2020. I know that you are upset, but we want to see the positive, the visionary leadership that comes from
Right.
the polls, the
Right.
community building. She's already though like kind of done and like on the Hampton University where she's going to in the fall.
Okay.
They have a on Instagram they have a class of 2024 Instagram
Okay.
group, and that's been amazing to watch them already build community and connect.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
Are you a part of the Ladies of Howard University? Did you join that group?
Yeah, I did. I did. Yeah. So I put my little spiel out there when I graduated from Howard, what I'm doing, all that good stuff.
We're almost at 10,000 members, and that just started.
I know, it's a couple months ago.
Well, yeah, right. It was after the stay home order, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, I know you have another thing to do after this, so I don't want to take too much of your time, but I do want to hear what are some of the positive things you're doing. We're thinking about all the restrictions and what we can't do, but what can you do to stay encouraged, to stay motivated?
I do a lot of reading, inspirational things and posts and books and stuff like that. Some meditation, I'm kind of focused on what I do have. I am healthy. My family is healthy. I talk to my family. I can, do a Zoom meeting with my dad, or, he's in North Carolina, or my sister who doesn't, who's in Piscataway. So, I can talk to other people and just see how they're doing and say, hey, I miss you, how you guys doing? How's everything going? And so we've been doing it. My aunt is right here in New Jersey, but we don't live together. So it's like, hey, call. So sometimes we have like a little house party, little meeting, and we're like, hey, how's it going? How's everybody think? How was your day? And everyone's laughing and cheering, and like we might have get together virtually, and so that's kind of something that we're focused on. That it makes everybody feel good. We can all see each other. We can all talk and laugh, and kind of just say, hey, I'm here with you. I know I can't see you. Like I haven't seen my nephew, and he's like, Auntie. And I'm like, and so, we just, make little jokes and encourage one another. And I'm like, are you doing your schoolwork? And my sister's like, I'm doing it.
Every now and then you gotta do a little extra help. Trust me.
So she's like, I'm doing that, staying safe. Sometimes, in the beginning, I didn't feel like getting dressed or getting up. And then, and sometimes I have those days, and then some days I say, you know what, I'm going to get up, I'm going to get dressed, I'm going to put some clothes on, and I'm going to just go for a walk. I'm going to just go outside. I'm going to just walk around the block, before they close the parks, we would go, I would go to the park, but, so it's like, those are the kind of things I did to keep your spirits up. DJ Nice was on Instagram. So,
oh, yes.
Yes, I was having a little party.
Night all the time with DJ D Nice, me and D Nice, not me and my husband D Nice, it's D Nice. I love music. Yes. I have a little dance that I created for D Nice. He hasn't discovered me yet, but there's a little his favorite song when it plays. I do the little right, left, right, left, tip your hat. He always wears his hat, tip your hat, and then I let it breathe straight by. So I've made that up, a little dance. I'm gonna have that should go viral, people. But anyway, yes, he has given a lot of people a lot of like motivation because a lot of people, and recently here, he's been allowing other DJs to use his Instagram so that's
to have the party.
Another way of giving back. I've just been so impressed with the world and how everyone is having a caring heart and continue to do things.
Right.
So question, what advice do you have to parents? What advice do you have to students, maybe from the class 2020 or anywhere, any students?
So the parents, I would just say, plan as much as you can. If your kid is a senior this year, there's certain things you have to do differently, and that could be just contacting the school and finding out, for the fall term, what they're going to do in terms of virtual and what does that mean financially for you. And for the kids, I understand, I was in high school, you want to have a graduation, you want to have a party, you want to have a birthday, you want to have all those things. So just be patient, and just focus on your education, focus on, what you have to do. Here's a time to where you can, stay on top of what it is that you want to do. Do some research, find some extracurricular activities that you can be a part of, virtually, that you can volunteer virtually, that you can, you can volunteer for food banks and different other things that you can do, maybe spend a couple of times and give back that way. I think, just focusing on, the things that will help you be better and not the things that's going to kind of put you in a mindset where you're like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. And so I just would encourage everyone, just, if you're not a mom or, a kid, who's feeling blue or feeling sad, just, read something inspirational, do something fun, get up and get dressed, challenge yourself. I mean, don't look at, be blessed and be thankful if you haven't been, that you're not sick, that you're well, that you're healthy, that you have the use of your limb, you can do things like that. And that you can call up your family, call a loved one, call them up virtually. How you doing? Share a laugh with them, just be there with them and be present.
Absolutely. That's great advice. Thank you, Danielle, for your time. I really appreciate for your energy. I always love being around my Howard University family. You always had a lot of energy. You still do. I thank you. I love watching you. I saw you on something in the courtroom. I can't remember what the name of the show was. Was it Bull?
Oh, on Bull. I did Bull.
Yeah.
I was one of the jurors on Bull.
Yeah, I'm always proud to see I know. I'm like, oh, look, that's a good picture. I saw my husband. Like, watch it again. There she is. Get a picture. Oh, it's so cool. Congratulations.
I'm always doing it to my phone.
Congratulations on all that you're doing.
Thank you
so much for giving back to the community as others have given to you in the past. And thank you for being a legacy leader. I appreciate your time this evening, and I hope to see you at homecoming.
I know, whatever version of it we have, I'll be there.
Exactly, even if it's virtual, right?
Yes.
All right, have a good night. I really appreciate you.
All right, thank you for having me.
Before you go, is there any websites that you need us to follow you on, or you like people to follow you on?
Sure. Our business website is uprisingstarsinc.org. And, that's where you can find most of the stuff. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, it's Uprising Stars Inc. or Danielle Worth. Either one of those, you can follow what we're doing with Uprising Stars or what I'm doing with my acting.
All right. Well, thank you and have a good night.
You too.